Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Beyond the Sewing Room. I'm Diane. So if you're new here, welcome, and if you've been before, then welcome back. Thank you so much for all your lovely comments on my last video. So in my last video, I made the Sew House 7 toaster sweater, which has morphed into this one, which I'm wearing today. So I did make it and talk about changing up the collar, flipping it down a little so it wasn't so big on my small neck. And also, I did think that if you're of small frame, this might be a common theme or pattern. And I have found in a few comments that a few people found that it was a little bit big for them on the neck and other people loved it. So it will depend on your build. So for me, I tried just turning it down but found that that still didn't work for me. So what I've done is I've completely changed it. I say completely because it's no longer a high loose collar and now we have gathers. So I'm going to show you what I did with this one and also ways that you can change up various patterns. Maybe you've got your eye on one but you haven't got the budget for it. Ways that you can use existing patterns and then take the inspiration and use what you've got. And also a couple of things that I've done in the past which you might like to copy or try out for yourself. So let's get started on this one that I'm wearing. So as I said, I started with the Sew House 7 sweatshirt. I'll insert the image here in case you're new and you haven't seen the previous video. I did share a sew along on how to make that, so please check that out if you're wondering how to go about that. And then what I did was, now I used a lightweight jersey and I explained that I did a double collar on mine to help make it stand up a little. But then it was still too wide. So let me just show you for reference. This was on the pattern, the size that the collar was on the top. It was as wide as this. So as you can see, I've got a very small neck anyway. And even with that, with some added stability, it just stood out and looked a little bit crazy on me. So what I did, and I'm going to show you, I've drawn it on a piece of paper here, but you probably can't see for the glare. I'm going to insert the image of this on the screen so that you can see more clearly while I'm talking. I've had to close the blind because the sun, great that we've got some sun, is shining through the window and making everything go crazy. So what I basically did was I took the neck off completely, I unpicked it, and then on the front and the back of the top, I've added 2 rows of gathering stitches, as you can see right here. So I've done them a few millimetres apart on this front panel and then also on the back panel. But I've left the raglan sleeve part still flat. So that's the same as it was before. And then I've taken, oh, it's here, look. This is the other collar because when it was double, this one was inside. I've taken the other collar piece, this one. I've also reduced some of the height from it. So you might want to try it on and test it if you're going to do this for yourself. So I've taken a bit out there. So it's not as tall, and then it's going to be folded over again to the inside, so it'll be like this once it's stitched on. And then what you need to do is try that over your head. Pin it where you think it'll be ideal for you. You might want to make it a little bit smaller. This is really stretchy, so I had no trouble getting this on. Pin it or just tack it with some tacking stitches. Make sure you can get it over your head, so try that on while it's tacked. And then once you're sure how much you can take out, take that out with your stitch it with your stretch stitch and then trim that away, and then you've got your new size for your neckline. Now when you add it on here, as you can see in the picture, you'll be able to pull on your gathering stitches ever so slightly as well. You're going to pull on them to gather it in first of all, front and back, but then you can also pull it a little more just to make sure that your neck fits. And then once you've got that stitched in place, flip it. So that's folding the neckline to the inside, where your seam will be like this, and the seam of your neckline goes upwards inside the collar, and it will be half the size, look. And you need to make sure you're using your stretch or zigzag stitch for that so that it maintains that stretch. And then you've got your new neckline. So as you can see, we've got gathers here, and it's the same at the back. I'll just flip round so you can see. Gathers at the back. The seam of your neckline is also at the back. And I'm just so much happier with this. So the neckline just fits me nice. It's not too tall anymore and I'm really happy with it. And now I'm happy to wear it. If I would have left it with the high collar, the high, big, wide standout collar, it would have just got stuck in my wardrobe or in a drawer and I wouldn't have worn it. And then it would have been a waste of my time. It would have been a waste of the fabric that I'd used up. And there you go. And I know people do that. I see that a lot in other vlogs, and I read comments and people say, oh, I've just got so cross with this and I ended up shoving it in a drawer or shoving it to one side. So it's always worth having another look at things and just trying that out. So that's what I did with that one. Then the next thing, I was having a little look at patterns online and thinking ahead to the summer months and what I could do. And I found this particular pattern, so I'm going to show it on screen right here. So this particular pattern I thought it was really nice because it's got that crossover feature. You can have the little ties. The ties are still pretty much in, I feel. I don't really go with trends, but I tend to pick out bits that I like, and I know anything with a tie on, if it's just one, maybe not all the ones up the front, which has been on some blouses, but maybe just one to the side or maybe just one at the neck. I do like things like that. So if you're picking a trend, just do pick one that you feel you will wear for years and years, and not one that's just going to last a few months through one season, because then you'll not wear it again probably, or end up changing it. So I do like this one and feel it's something that I will wear because I like the wrap over style. I do have patterns already for wrap over dresses. So all I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to take a wrap over dress pattern. I'm going to cut where it goes into the skirt part. I'm not going to cut the pattern, I'm just going to mark on it. I'm going to cut the fabric at that point, so maybe it's just sort of a bit of peplum like it is on this one. And then I will be able to use my dress pattern to make a top. Now that's something you can do with any dress pattern. Some people are going to say there's exceptions. I don't think there are, because if it's got a long zip up the side, you would just use a shorter zip. If it's got buttons down the front, you would just bring the buttons down to the point where you want your top to finish. So pretty much, and if it's not got any fastenings, it's just stretch it, then it's even easier. So any pattern can be made as from a dress to a top, and quite often the other way around as well, just by some lengthening. So if we're shortening it, I made this quite recently, so I'm using this as an example. I made this dress, the Belgravia knit dress, and I really like it. It's a lovely fit and I love the dress. To make it, I altered it slightly. I altered the slit length and the skirt length a little, and I made long sleeve, but that's in the pattern anyway. So for either of these two looks as a top, all you need to do is, you can leave the belt in if you want and just have it as a longer top, or you can take the belt off completely. So just don't make up the belt pieces, just cut it out, but cut it to a shorter length, maybe hip length or crop length if that's what you want, and just make it as a top. And that one is stretched, so that one just pulls on anyway. So all you need to be doing is just cutting out your pattern pieces, but not at this length. So fold it up to where you want it, or maybe just retrace it off onto some baking paper or something, so you've got the new pattern as a top pattern. So that's one example. And as I said, with any sort of dress where you like the top feature of it, all you need to do is either extend the pieces from the bodice, or if it's got a bodice and skirt and you like the bit of the detailed shape where it goes out into the skirt, just use the top bit of the skirt. And as I said, if it's got a definite waistband or a definite waist where it goes into it and stitches with a seam at the waist, then you're adding a sort of peplum. But if you don't want that idea there, you could just shape it outwards. Just have a play around with it. There's lots of things that you can do. Now this one, the Maison Fauve, so this blouse, La Blouse Cicadella, I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but that's how I'm saying it right now. If you love this with the lovely neck feature and the panelling, just cut it out longer. With a dress, you do need to make sure that you're shaping it outwards so that it will go over the hips. But a little bit of experimentation, just cut it out a little bigger as it goes down. If you find it's too big, you can always take those seams in. And then if you don't like it too loose, you could add a belt. Or you could just take it in at particular points and add a zip if you want to make it more fitted. So there's lots of things that you can do. And if you're doing that with dresses, tops, making them from one to the other, the more you do it, the more you will get more ideas, the more confident that you will get at playing around with it. So just think about that. Look at all the patterns that you've got and have a think of how you can change them up. Another thing that you can do is to mix two patterns together, and that doesn't involve as much guesswork on your part as to where things will finish, and it may only mean tiny adjustments to the arm side or the sleeve fitting. So in this particular top, I'm going to show it on screen. Quite recently I made this one and I used a combination of two patterns. So I'm going to have a look at my notes now because I forget which ones they were. So I used Simplicity 8177 for this and Simplicity 8982. So I like the V-neck on one and the body style, but I like the sleeve feature with the band on the other one and the whole shape of the sleeve. Now if you're working from two similar patterns or two patterns from the same company as this one is, you will find that the arm shape, the arm side and the top of the sleeve are often very similar anyway, unless you've got lots of fullness or poofiness at the top or specific details. So as these two sleeves were really quite similar, there wasn't much adjustment to make at all. It was just a case of using the sleeve part from one pattern on the bodice of the other pattern. So that was really easy to do, and then you get the look you want. Now you can do that again from a top that you like the sleeve style of, adding it to a dress, or details from the dress, adding them onto a top. That can even be pockets and things like that. So have a look through your inspiration board or Pinterest or wherever you save all your ideas and just jot down what you like about each one and what the details are. Maybe make a little diagram on a piece of paper and just pick out the different design features. Have a look through your patterns and see what you've got already and how you can change them up. So I hope that was helpful today. I hope you've got some inspiration and it's going to give you something to think about, ways that you can save money and have a little look at what you've got already and make some new ideas. As always, thank you so much for watching. I love to hear from you. Remember to like and subscribe, and I always read your comments and try and reply to all of them. So please do leave me a comment. Also, let me know what ideas you've got. Bye for now.